this a little bit along. Everybody go? Okay. This is a little bit the same, but many people see Proposition G as a little special interest spat between the union and non-union contractors. As our possible mayor and as the nonpartisan leader of all Chula Vista, can you give us an unbiased explanation of this ordinance and how would it help or hurt the other 220,000 residents?
Well, I think what you have is you've got a couple of parts of the question. The fact is Proposition G, which is on the ballot in June, will restrict and actually prohibit the city from investing in projects that have some sort of a labor agreement. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean organized labor. That could be contributions to a trust fund or a pension fund or anything of that nature. The language is so loosely written, our attorneys and that of the court district don't really know what that means. And the fact is that we just spent a long time talking about 37 years on the Bayfront. Right now, Pacifica Development, Pacifica company, has a labor agreement with organized labor on the hotel that they're going to build. The fact is, if Prop G passes, the city would not be able to contribute to the infrastructure for that project. So what we would be doing is telling a private developer that they can't have an agreement with a labor organization. That would essentially kill that project and it would not move forward. The fact is that if Prop G does not pass, nothing changes. Nothing changes. Organized labor doesn't have a foot up on anybody. Basically, people come in and there are standards in which companies get jobs and they get contracts. And that would not change the way that it's done today. Problem is with Prop G, the future of the Bayfront, the university, all these things are clouded because we don't know how that would be enforced and how the courts would litigate that.
Last week I had an interview with the Associated General Contractors and they told me that 2 years ago Mr. Castaneda supported this measure and now he's against it. I am in support of fairness and openness. I'm in favor of anybody who wants to have a job to have a chance at getting that job. I think it's unfair to hold hostage to a community that you will or you won't have your Bayfront based on how a labor agreement can be conducted. You can call a project labor agreement a negotiated agreement. The fact of the matter is, when a business comes here, they need to hire people. Are they going to hire local people? What kind of contract will we have? We want them to work long, to pay their people well enough that people can afford the health benefits and can afford houses here in Chula Vista if this is where they choose to live. You know, the Fair and Openness initiative is a confusing one. It's confusing for us mere mortals who've had a chance now to read it 3 times over. But I think when you look at the bottom line is if you want to go to work and you've got the training to work, you ought to be able to bid fairly on that job, whether or not you're a union member or a merit shop.
I'm against FOCO. Let me tell you why. It's divisive. It pits one side against the other. You've got to ask yourself, why is it that citizens of this community found it necessary to put this on the ballot? Easy. They felt that they were being disenfranchised. Disenfranchised by who? By this city council. That's the problem. In addition, if you take care and read this proposal, it really limits the ability of the city council to do its job. It handcuffs you. It doesn't allow you to hire certain groups. That is not anything that I would ever support, anything that is going to limit the ability, my ability as mayor, to do the right thing, to pick the right person for the job. The city council's job is to entertain all bidders. It is then incumbent upon them to take and do all the research. It isn't necessarily about what's the cheapest, it's about what's feasible and what's the best for Chula Vista. It may be that it's a organized group or it may be an independent. I would not support this for those 2 basic reasons. One, it's divisive, and it's my job as a mayor to bring the people of this city together, work together. And secondly, because it handicaps my ability to govern.